Alright. Just wait for him to come on in. Wait for him to come on in. Alright. Alright. Who we got on the hood? Alright. What's up, baby? Alright now. What's up, Jennifer? We're getting ready to get started. We got something great to talk about tonight. I'm excited about what we're talking about. But hey, but before we get started, text somebody, Facebook them, inbox them, message them, do whatever you got to do to let them know that we are on right now, live. We get ready to go down here in a few minutes. In the next few minutes, it's about to go down. We get ready to go down. What's up, baby? Yeah, it's going down. Yep. Got something great. Hey, make sure you got your notifications on. Make sure you keep your notifications on so that you know when I come on. Hey, this is Monday night, every night, Monday night at 7 p.m. Thank you for sharing, Deborah. Thank you. Hey, share this video. Share this right now for somebody. Let them know that we're on right now. We get ready to go into our empowerment mode right here in a few minutes. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Few more minutes and we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope you got your pens and your papers today. You know I love that. Make sure you got your pen and your paper today. I'm going to give you something right quick. Going to motivate you, empower you like never before. Jennifer, what's going on? Terrence, all right. All right, we get ready to get started. All right. What's up, Quantel? What's up, bro? Hey, that's a powerful word today, man. What's up, cuz? What's up, Tara? All right. I hope that you share this with somebody. I hope that you share it. Let them know that we're on right now. I'm getting ready to share something with you right quick that I know is going to be beneficial. You know, on my Facebook, I'm a part of a group. It's the Steve Harvey group, empowerment group, and all through the week and all through, hello Martha, and all through the week, I've been seeing people pop up with things that, hey, I jumped out of the boat. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing what I'm called to do. Right now with this season, what's up, cuz Terry? Right now in this season, I believe that there are some desires on the inside of each and every one of you all. There's some things that you want to do. There's some places you want to go. There's some people that you want to meet. There's some places that you want to get yourself involved with. But let me tell you this. We are approaching right now. We're in February right now. This is my month. Hey, I'm celebrating my birthday all through this week. February 16th. Go ahead and mark that on your calendar. That is my birthday, my born day. That is my birthday, February 16th. So this week, I'm celebrating. I'm enjoying this week right here. But I want to share something with you today, man. You know, most people get their inspiration through philosophers. Most people get their inspiration through motivational speaking, inspirational speaking. Most people get their inspiration through self-help books and things like that. But my inspiration comes from what I call the antiquated book called the Bible. And in this Bible, I've learned some principles and some values that have really helped me motivate and really fine-tune my life and really put me on a path that really starts to be successful. And I want to share something with you today because I was reading something today. Just want to give this to you right quick, see what you get out of it. But I was reading something today, and it really impacted me, and I want to talk to you today. And if you had something that you want to write down, write this down. I'm going to talk about today how to jump out of the boat. How to jump out of the boat. Many of us today are inside the boat. We're inside of a place of safety. We're inside of a place of complacent. We're inside of a place right now that we're comfortable with. But my job, I told you that I'm your fire starter. I'm the one that get things started on your life. My job is to push you out of the boat. My job is to get you so inspired. My job is to get you so fired up and so pumped up that you ultimately do what you've been called to do. Because there's only two choices. Either live a life of regret or live a life of fulfillment. There's only two choices. Either you're going to live a life of regret or you'll live a life of fulfillment. And my job and my hope is that you live a life of fulfillment. In Matthew 14:22-31, I'm just going to read something right quick. You don't have to get your Bible or nothing. This is not a church service or nothing like that. I just want to share something with you to tell you where the basis of what I'm talking about comes from. In Matthew 14:22-31, it says that immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on the other side of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he dismissed them, he went up to the mountain by himself and prayed later that night. He was there alone, and the boat was already in a considerable distance from the land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. Now listen to this. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. They were terrified. It was a ghost, saying it was a ghost because they were shocked in fear. Now get this. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." And then Peter said this, "Lord, if it be you, tell me to come on the water." Then Jesus said this, "Come," he said. Then Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink, crying out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him and said, "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" That's what we want to talk about there. We want to talk about how to get out of the boat. And if anybody knows me, they know that I'm a stickler for words. I love acronyms. I love words. That's the way I get it. That's the way I teach. That's the way I inspire. That's the way I motivate people. But I want to take that word, the acronym BOAT, and I want to talk to you about something. I want to take the word B-O-A-T. We're going to use that word BOAT, and I want to talk to you about something today. And I want to talk to you what that word means, and also I want to talk to you about how to jump out of the boat. So let's start with that word B, because if you're going to jump out of the boat this year in 2017, you have to deal with the B. And the B is you have to deal with the bondage of fear. Yes. The reason why most people don't step out of the boat is because they are in bondage to fear. The reason why most people don't start that job because they are in bondage to fear. The reason why most people don't step outside of their comfort zone, step outside of their neighborhood, step outside to pursue other opportunities in their life because they are in bondage to fear. Now, what is fear? Fear comes to you in three ways. It comes to you like this. It comes to you with facts, feelings, and familiarity. What am I talking about? Fear can expose himself or disguise itself in three ways. Number one, fact. Well, statistics may say that somebody from your family may have never opened up a job, may have never started a business. So in return, you don't start a business. Fear may say there has never been anyone that you've seen before write a book. So in return, you might have a desire to write a book, but you don't write the book because you've never seen nobody write the book before. So you are still bound with fear. Fear may say this, "Hey, I want to start school this year. And I really want to start my education. I really want to do something different than I'm normally doing. But I've never seen nobody from my family or somebody from my circle ever go to college or ever get their GED or get their high school diploma." So in return, you stay where you've been in a position of stuckness and you don't go out and pursue nothing because you're fearful. If you're going to step out of the boat and do something great in 2017, we have to deal with that bondage of fear. Let me tell you, fear will paralyze you. And there's some people right now that's listening to me right now that have some great ideas. They have some great interpretation. They have some great things that they want to do. But that monster called fear has stopped you from moving forward. You're afraid. And you know you're afraid. You want to do it. You want to step out. You want to do something great. You want to walk. You want to let some things go. You want to be all that you can be. But the very fact that you're afraid to do something different and that bondage to fear has stopped you from moving forward. Let me tell you that if you're going to step out of the boat this year in 2017, you have to deal with fear. You got to deal with fear. Let me tell you, fear will paralyze you. Fear will make you stagnant. Fear will keep you immobile. Fear will put you in a place right now that you can't even move nowhere. Fear will have you thinking right now that nobody wants to get involved with you. Fear will have you thinking right now that no one wants to help you. Fear right now will have you in a place right now where you feel like your feet are sunk in cement and you can't even move. What's up, cuz? You can't even move. If you're going to do something great this year, I'm not. If you all right with living a mediocre life, if you're all right just having an average lifestyle, this teaching ain't even for you. But I'm talking to the ones, the heavy hitters, the goal getters, the dream chasers, the rare dreamers, those that want more in life. If you're going to step out of the boat and do something that's never been done in your life this year in 2017, you got to deal with that fear. You got to deal with fear. You got to deal with fear. You have to deal with fear. You can't be afraid of fear no more. You can't be afraid to face fear anymore. You can't be afraid to let fear continue to rule your life. If you keep letting fear rule your life, you'll continue to live a life of regret. And 2017 and 2018 and 2019 will be nothing more but a year that you said, I wish I would have, could have, and should have done something. That's what fear do for you. That's what fear would do. That's what fear will do. Fear will stop you in your tracks before you even get going. Fear will stop you. Fear will have you start making excuses. Fear will have you procrastinating. Fear will have you talking about you don't know if you can do it. Fear is something that you have to deal with. And you got to search yourself today. And you got to ask yourself today. And you got to be real with yourself today. And you got to say, what is it that is stopping me from doing what I really want to do? What is it for stopping me from starting that nonprofit? What is it that is stopping me from letting go of that unfruitful relationship? What is it that is stopping me from not getting involved in my community? What is it that's stopping me from not writing that book? What is it that is stopping me from not writing that article? What is it? We got to deal with fear. One man said that fear was this: false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. You see that? But then I heard one man say that, hey man, you have to feel the fear and do it in it. If you're going to jump out of the boat this year, you have to deal with fear. We're talking about the B now. We're talking about boat. We're talking about the B right now. And the first B, the B stands for bondage to fear. You're going to have to deal with fear. Let's move on to the O. Let's move on to the O. I don't want to keep you so long tonight. Let's move on to the O. The O stands for ordinary. Man, oh man. If you're going to jump out of the boat, you have to refuse to be ordinary. Man, let me tell you this. When you go through life, people are not talking, people are not writing, people are not doing movies, people are not writing articles about ordinary people. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. People don't even talk about ordinary people. Man, ordinary people are not even the topic of conversations. Ordinary people are not the headlines of the news. Ordinary people are not even, you don't even want to follow ordinary people. If you want to do something great in your life, you have to refuse to be ordinary. You have not been created to be ordinary. You've been created to be extraordinary. Extraordinary. You see that? You have been created to be something other than mediocre. You've been created for something greater than that. Most of us live an ordinary life. We talk to ordinary people. We do ordinary things. We hang out with ordinary people. And in return, we get ordinary results. That's what we do. That's what we do. If you're going to jump out of the boat this year, you have to refuse to be ordinary. You have to refuse to be average. You have to refuse to be mediocre. You have to refuse to be that. If you're going to live a life that causes you to be excited about it, you have to live a life that is not ordinary. And one thing about this, when you're talking about jumping out of the boat, age has nothing to do with it. Age has nothing to do with it. You can still be older and still live a prosperous life. You can still be young and still live a prosperous life. But if this word right here, the ordinary, you have to deal with that. If you expect to do something great in 2007, ordinary has to go out of your vocabulary. You can't be an ordinary person. You can't. You can't be ordinary. You can't be ordinary in your job. You can't be ordinary in your family. You can't be ordinary in your career. You can't, if you expect to do something great and leave an impact in life, you can't just say, I've done my quota. This is the status quo. This is all I'm going to do. That type of living will never impact anyone. Not at all. Not at all. If you're going to jump out of the boat, you have to say, I'm not going to live an ordinary life. I refuse to be average. I won't be average. I will not be average. Average people are ordinary people. And in return, no one talks about ordinary people. No one wants to give ordinary people a chance. No one wants to get involved in ordinary things. People want to get involved in things that excite them and cause them to walk in fulfillment. And if you're going to jump out of the boat, guess what? You got to get rid of being ordinary. When Peter stepped out of the boat, he stopped being ordinary and became extraordinary. Because no one that you've known that has been documented in history has been known to walk on water. But two people. Two people. It's not even scientifically possible. But when you do something that goes against the odds, you cease from being ordinary to becoming extraordinary. You cease from being average to being extra. Let me tell you this. That's what you have to make a commitment in your life, that I'm not going to be average. You can't be average. Most people go to work to be average. They go to work and they don't do anything extra. They don't try to become better. They don't invest in their life. They don't want to have more in life. They're just satisfied with what they have. If you're going to step out of the boat and do something great in your life, you have to get rid of being ordinary, folks. You can. Come on, you can. You can. Man, I refuse to live a life that's ordinary. I refuse it. I don't care how many mistakes I made. I don't care what I've been through. I don't care what I'm going through. It does not, I will not live a life that is ordinary. I just wish I had some folks that could just join with me to say, I don't care. See, being ordinary doesn't, where you come from doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you're going to live an ordinary life. You dictate whether or not you're going to live an ordinary life. You might say, man, I'm from a little town. Ain't nothing exciting going on. Guess what? That's on you. Man, I ain't never seen nobody do nothing. Man, that's on you. You are the one. You're the game changer. You're supposed to change the environment. You're supposed to change the atmosphere. And if you're going to jump out of the boat this year and you do something great, you have to deal with that word called ordinary. The third thing, guess what? We deal with the B. That's the bondage to fear. The second thing is the O. If you're going to jump out of the boat, you can't be ordinary. The third thing, if you're going to jump out of the boat, then guess what? You got to deal with that attitude. Most people don't want to talk about that. But if you're going to jump out of the boat, you got to deal with that attitude. Your attitude will determine your altitude. If you're always smart, if you ain't got nothing going on, ain't always negative, don't have nothing positive to say, let me tell you, that will determine whether or not you jumping out the boat this year. Now, you have to change that attitude. That attitude. Let me tell you this. Your attitude will determine how far you go. What's your attitude about this year? Man, you know what? It makes me sick in my stomach when I look on Facebook and all I hear is the woe is me and I'm going through this and we're going through that and when it rains it pours and all. Guess what? I understand we all got things that we go through. But let me tell you, I'm not going to build my life around the woe is me lifestyle. I'm not. Man, look here. I can tell you since 2012, man, we can even go back from 2004, from the time I was in prison all the way to now. Or we could even talk about when I was released from prison all the way to now. I got some stories that I can really tell you, that I can really, but if it was not for my attitude, I don't believe I'll be where I am today. My attitude determined where I was today. My attitude had everything to do with people wanting to give me a chance. My attitude, because I could have easily looked at my life and said, man, guess what? I'm this. Ain't nobody going to give me a chance. Who going to do something for me? Man, when it rains, it pours. That stinking thinking, that stinking attitude will stop people from opening doors in your life. Your attitude. Man, we read these quotes and we hear people quote them. And the quote said, your attitude will determine your altitude. In other words, I'm going to break it down to you like this. Your attitude will determine how far you go. Now, let me ask yourself, how far are you willing to go? That's what you got to ask yourself. How far are you willing to go? And the second thing is, are you willing to get there? Are you willing to adjust your attitude? Are you willing to adjust? Do you, every time something goes wrong, do you give up? Every time something don't go your way, do you stop? Every time, are you blaming, because I'm the black man or the white man or this? Are you always trying to point the finger at somebody else because things don't happen the way you want them to happen? Man, I'm sick of that stuff. If you're going to get it in life, you got to realize. I remember one day, a guy came in to me and said this. He gave me a whole sheet of paper. He said, George, this is a comprehensive list of everything that somebody owes you. And on that sheet of paper, it was nothing. Because let me tell you this, nobody owes you anything. For everything that you get, you're going to have to work for it. Nobody. Nobody. No one owes you anything. Everything you get, you will have to work for. And the question is this, the first thing that you're going to have to do, you're going to have to adjust that attitude. You're going to have to adjust that attitude. You're going to have to. Are you always looking for somebody not to give you a chance? See, that's the problem with many of us. See, we'll go out and do things, but we're not expecting good things to happen to us. So in return, when it don't happen to us, here we go. It solidifies our philosophy. I told you ain't nobody going to give me a chance. How about changing that attitude and going into the situation, expecting something great to happen to you? You see that? And if it don't happen to you, you go to the next door. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of attitude that we got to develop. If we're going to do something great in 2007, you have to adjust that attitude. It might just be a minor tweak. It might just be the way you think. It might just be the way you talk. It might just be even the environment that you constantly hanging yourself around in that constantly affects your mood, the way you act, the way you talk, the way you see things. You might have to even make that small tweak. But let me tell you, if you're going to jump out of the boat, you have to deal with your attitude. And attitude means everything. Nobody wants to be around a dead person. Nobody wants to be around somebody who's always talking negative. No one wants to even be around people who's always trying to down somebody, who sees the negative out of the situation instead of the positive. You're going to jump out of the boat this year, you have to change that attitude. The last thing right here, we're going to deal with the T. We're going to deal with the T. If you're going to jump out of the boat this year, you have to really tune in on time wasters. What am I talking about? Time wasters. Procrastination. I'm going to do it later. I'm going to get to it. I'll do it tomorrow. Excuses. But man, I ain't got nobody to help me out. I don't have nobody to help me. Man, complaining, worrying. These are time wasters. You spend your time procrastinating, excuses, complaining. You're wasting time. One of the greatest principles, one of the greatest gifts that God has given to mankind was time. It's a gift. That's why it's called a present. Let me tell you, time is something that you can never get back. And what you spend, time is like a currency. What you spend your time on is what you're purchasing for yourself. And if you spend your time on procrastination, guess what you're buying for yourself? If you spend your time on making excuses, guess what you're buying for yourself? If you spend your time complaining, worrying, being negative, always doubt, guess what you're purchasing for yourself? I would rather take my time and spend it on something productive that can help me get to the next level in my life than spend my time talking about why I can't get there, making excuses of why I didn't do something, procrastinating, put things off to the next day when I can get them done today. Worrying about something that I don't even have any control over. Time wasters. Time wasters. And let me also point out a time waster. People will take your time up. People who's not going anywhere, who don't want anything more than what they have, they will try to keep you right where they are, so they'll try to waste your time. You got to be aware of those people also. You have to be aware of those people. Those type of people, they don't really want anything. They're all right where they are. They don't want anything more. But they don't want you to have anything. So in return, they'll do what they have to do to waste your time. And in return, you'll find yourself spending a lot of time with people who don't want too much in life. And they'll begin to suck you dry, frustrate you, upset you, cause you to be a ticking time bomb because they are dealing and working, playing with your time. Hey, we're talking about jumping out of the boat tonight. For those that are just on here, we dealt with the B. We dealt with the B. And if you're going to jump out of the boat, you have to really pay attention to being in bondage to fear. Most people are in bondage to fear right now. They're afraid to jump out of the boat. Fear will reveal itself in so many different ways. But fear comes to you in facts, statistics. Well, statistically it says this, that no one that come up from my background, or that no one that has experienced what I have experienced, or a single mother can't do this, or a guy who's been in prison, or a person that's gone bankrupt, or anybody that has gone through this can't do this. See, these facts, these statistics can keep you into bondage. Feelings, these feelings, feelings, the familiarity, being familiar with, staying in a place that you're familiar with, being comfortable with that can hold you into bondage for fear. No, the second thing is the ordinary. Being ordinary. will stop you from jumping out of the boat. Man, let me tell you, there's some of us right now that may be listening to me. Let me tell you, it's not too late to start dreaming again. It's never too late to start dreaming again. It's never. I want to tell someone right now, in fact, right now is the best time for you to start dreaming again. You have to start dreaming again. Man, if you don't start dreaming again, you're just living a life that just accepts anything that comes to them. You have to start dreaming again. You have to refuse to be ordinary. You can't just be ordinary. The third thing, you got to deal with that attitude. You can't always expect somebody to give you a hand-me-out. Always expecting somebody to do something for you. You have to deal with that attitude. And the third thing, you have to deal with time wasters. Let me tell you, I'm excited. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. This is another episode of Solution where we give real life solutions to real life problems. Hey, I want to let everybody know that every week we are here at 7 p.m. We're here. 7 p.m. We're talking about things. My job is to motivate you and impact you to do something great in your life. Do something great in your life. Look here. My life is, hey, I'm going to tell you, my life, the principles that I give you are the principles that I apply to my life every day. Let me tell you, I can't even begin to tell you how many doors are shut in my I can't tell you how many doors have shut on me. I can't tell you how many people have turned me down. I can't tell you how many times people have looked at my background and didn't give me the position. I might have been qualified for it. I might have had the skills for it. But they looked at me and said, man, guess what? Because of a mistake that you made. But guess what? I never quit. I didn't stop, because let me tell you, there's something about me that will rise up. That anytime someone tries to tell me I can't do something, I won't be something, there's no way that I'm going to be able to accomplish that. There's something on the inside of me that causes me to really, 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 really rise up. And that's what I want you to do. We got to start rising. I want to share something with you, man. Just this week, man, I had an opportunity to create. That's what we got to do. You have to learn how to create. God opened up the door for me to be able to create. You all that's been on here, you know about my program, the Transitional Accountability Program, where we help individuals come out of prison, but also those that are struggling with addiction. That's been something that's been a part of my life, and that's something that I experienced with when I was growing up. That's something that I experienced with, especially in my time incarcerated. And that's also something that I really wanted to put a handle on. If you look at the news today, man, we are dealing with the opiate condition where people are really getting strung out on drugs. People are really getting strung out on heroin. And, man, there has to be someone to rise up to say no to this epidemic that is really tearing up our youth, our children, and things like that. You know what? The problem is this. Most people are afraid to engage these things. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm not. I'm not. Most people are afraid. See, the issue is this. There are many people that have come out of so many things, but they're afraid to give back to other individuals. But guess what? You're wrong if you don't. There are some people listening to me right now that are full of wisdom. Your life has not been the best life, but now you're at a place right now where you got some great success, and you have to be able to give back to other individuals. So I'm working at this place, and I got an opportunity to really help people that are really struggling with addiction and things like that. And my thing is this. I'm going to spend the rest of my life impacting people in whatever way I can. Let me give you a little, before we get off, let me give you a quick view of my office right quick, man. Look at this. I'm going to show you something. Look at this. You see them glasses right there? Look at this is my office. I haven't got it done yet, but man, this is my office. This is my office. A man's gift will make room for. Look, got to put my TV up, but look at my Mac Getty desk, man. Look at that. Presidential. You see that? Come on, man. 5 years ago, I was sitting in a prison cell. And look at this now. My own business. Look at this now. You can't tell me it can't be done. Look at this. I can take you all the way through here. Look here. Let me show you. Let me cut these lights on in here. It's dark. But let me show you what's going on. Let me show you what's going on. Well, it's dark here, but hey, I just want to show you this. Just want to share a little bit of my world with you right quick to let you know it doesn't matter. Sometimes you got to jump out the boat. Sometimes you got to defy the odds. You got to let others know. But guess what? Man, regardless of what you said about me, regardless of what you do, you still got an opportunity. Sometimes you got to defy the odds. You got to jump out of the boat. You see that? Can anything good come out of Athens, Tennessee? Absolutely. Look at here. And that's what you got to say about yourself. Hey, this is Gerard Dunn. This is Solution. I want to share that with you because from time to time, I'm going to share with you testimonies. I'm going to show you the goodness of God. I'm going to show you what God is doing in my life. And I want to know what God is doing in your life because guess what? Man, when you're dealing with God, we deal with a real God who deals with real people. And he's not looking for perfection. He's looking for faith. And the question that I'll leave you with today, will you believe God to jump out of the boat this year? I want to see the testimony. I want to see people have that new home. I want to see people drive those new cars. I want to see people publish those books. I want to see people get out there and start those businesses. That's what I want to. That's what excites me. You know what gets on my nerves the most is when people talk about what I'm about to do, what I'm getting ready to do. See, those who jump out of the boat, they're not about to do anything. They do it. They do it. They do it. That's what they do. Hey, like I said it for the third time. This is Gerard Dunn. Hey, follow me. Don't forget, every Monday night at 7 p.m., I'm going to be here. I'm going to give you practical solutions for everyday problems. Hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications. Turn on your notifications, and you'll see when I come on. Also, follow me on YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel. I'm uploading videos every day. Go to my YouTube channel. Subscribe. Get my videos. Hey, man, we're going worldwide with this. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We haven't even started yet. We refuse to be held back. And that's what we're doing. We're a solution to the problem. Soon we're going to have a program. We're going to do teaching on how to allow your purpose to create for you. We're going to do all of that. So don't forget me. Hey, don't forget me. Don't forget to check out my books. You can get them on Amazon. Don't forget to check out my book. My website is coming up soon at www.gerarddunn.com. It's under construction right now. It should be done in the next few weeks. But hey, stay in contact with me. We have some great things that we are doing in the earth. We refuse to be ordinary. We refuse to be average. Stay with me. All right.